wasted more nights than you care to admit. And deep down, you know it. No need to deny it. How many times have you gone to bed with that sinking feeling? The quiet certainty that something is off, that the day was just another empty chapter. Yet here you are, stuck in the same routine, repeating the same cycle, hoping, foolishly, that change will just show up on its own. Let me tell you something you might not want to hear. Change isn't a miracle. It's an assault. It doesn't arrive gently. It doesn't knock politely. You either take it by force or it never comes at all. There's no middle ground. And if you keep waiting, hiding behind distractions and excuses, you'll stay exactly where you are. You're living a life that doesn't fulfill you. You feel it in your chest, in the silence when the lights go out. You don't need me to tell you this. You already know. But instead of facing it, you lie to yourself. I'll start tomorrow. It's not the right time. I need to fix this one thing first. And so the days pass. And so the years slip by. But listen closely. Tonight can be different. Not because the universe chose you. Not because there's a sign written in the sky. But because you can choose. Right now. Without asking permission. Without waiting for the perfect moment. This is your Tarantino moment. Because your story isn't written in stone. You can flip the script. You can rewrite the plot. You can become the main character instead of just being an extra in your own. But there's a price, and that price is the truth. The method? Brutally simple. A notebook, a pen, and the silence of the early hours. You don't need a guru. You don't need another self-help book. You don't even need motivation. You just need to sit down, take a breath, and write. Write what you're doing wrong. No filters, no sugarcoating, no excuses. Just the raw, honest truth you've been avoiding. Here's the real problem. You don't change because you don't dare to face yourself honestly. You avoid the mirror. Because deep down, you're terrified of what you might see. Nietzsche said it clearly. Become who you are. But here's the catch. To become who you are, you first have to discover who that is. And that doesn't happen with feel-good quotes or fake positivity. It happens with surgical brutality, by dissecting every mistake, every fear, every doubt that brought you to this exact place. Dostoevsky warned us. Suffering is the most powerful tool for self-knowledge. And what have you done? You've run from it. You've numbed it with distractions, with shallow entertainment, with the desperate hope that if you just ignore the pain long enough, it'll go away. But it won't. Change doesn't come by closing your eyes. It comes when you rip off the blindfold and look at what's underneath. And what's underneath, if you're truly honest, is a mess, a disaster. But here's the beautiful part. Disasters can be rebuilt. Mistakes can be corrected. Stories can be rewritten. Think of Tarantino, just a regular guy, no connections, no clear path. But he had something most people don't. An obsessive passion for telling his story. His story, not the one the world handed him. Not the one his past tried to define. His. And you? What story are you writing? Is it really yours? Or is it just a script someone else handed you? Because the difference between those who change and those who stay trapped in mediocrity is brutally simple. The ones who change face themselves, with rawness, with honesty, with no filter. Just like Tarantino writes his scripts, unapologetic, unflinching, real. They don't sugarcoat their failures. They don't hide behind excuses. They stare their own mess in the face and deal with it. So here's your challenge. Tonight, when the world is asleep, when the noise fades and the silence creeps in, grab a notebook and write. No censorship, no mercy. Write everything you're doing wrong, every dumb decision, every fear that's paralyzed you, every excuse you've clung to like a shield. Write. Until it hurts. And when it hurts, keep writing. Then find one solution, not all of them, just one. Don't say, it's not that easy. Of course it's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But here's the truth they never tell you. You don't need to fix everything tonight. You only need to make one decision. One small, concrete action you can take tomorrow to start rewriting your story. Because if you wait until you feel ready, you'll never be ready. If you wait for fear to disappear, it never will. The only way to kill fear is to move despite it. And the only way to change your story is to grab the pen and rewrite it yourself. That's the truth no one tells you. You can change your life in a single night, not because everything will magically fall into place, but because the moment you choose to face reality, without excuses, that's when everything starts to shift. There is no written destiny, no predetermined ending. There's only the story you dare to tell, and the one you settle for. Which one are you living right now? And if you've made it this far, it's because a part of you knows you have to change. Not for motivation, not for inspiration, but because the emptiness you feel every night is proof something in your life is broken. And, it's not about luck. It's not about your circumstances. It's not the world being against you. It's a narrative problem. Your story isn't writing itself. It's being written by every decision you make. And more dangerously, by every decision you avoid making. You think inaction is neutral. It's not. Every time you delay, every time you know what you need to do but don't, you're actively choosing to stay where you are. And here's the terrifying part. If you don't write your story, someone else will. The expectations of others, society's noise, the routines that slowly numb you to death. How many people do you know who are just background characters in their own lives, trapped in jobs they hate, in relationships that kill their soul, in bodies they don't recognize, in minds that aren't even theirs anymore? You know why they're stuck? Because at some point they decided not to decide. They chose comfort over confrontation. They convinced themselves, this is life. But that's the most dangerous lie of all. This is life, is what people say when they've already given up on writing their own story. Understand this now. There's not just one script for you. There's not just one version of how this ends. There are hundreds of versions of you waiting in the shadows, and each one depends on the choices you make from today on. You can choose the version that repeats the same mistakes, the one who hides behind excuses, who stays the same. Or you can choose the version that grabs the damn pen, sits at the table, and starts dissecting every mistake. No anesthesia. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. I don't have time. I don't have energy. I don't have clarity. But here's the truth. You do have time. You do have energy. You do have clarity. What you don't have is the courage to face what you already know. Because the problem isn't that you don't have the answers. It's that you do, and you hate them. You know what you need to change. You know where you're failing. You know what you're doing wrong, but admitting it hurts, because admitting it means accepting that you've been the architect of your own misery, and that means accepting something even harder. You could have done it differently, and, yeah, that sucks. It sucks a lot. But here's the twist. That pain you're avoiding, it's the only door out. If you have the guts to look straight at what you've done with your life, without flinching, then you also have the power to change it. But most people never get that far. Most would rather stay numb, distracted, scrolling, waiting for time to magically fix things. Let me save you years. Time doesn't fix anything. If you don't use it, it just buries you. It becomes the graveyard of all the versions of you that could have existed. And here's the part no one talks about. In this process of transformation, silence isn't optional. It's essential. Think about the moments you've truly understood something real about yourself. It wasn't during the noise. It wasn't mid-scroll. It was in the stillness, at night, when the world finally shuts up, and there's no one left to distract you from your own thoughts. That's why the night matters. That's why the method demands it. Because nighttime is the only time the world stops asking for pieces of you. No notifications, no expectations. Just you and the voice you've been running from. And if you're scared to be alone with your thoughts, good. That means there's something worth facing. The night is your editing room. It's where you cut dead scenes, where you rework broken dialogue, where you flip the script. You don't need to fix everything tonight, but you do need to start, Because every minute you avoid it is another minute someone else writes your story for you. Need proof? Tarantino didn't wait for permission to start writing. He didn't beg for validation. He locked himself in a room and wrote because he understood what most people never will. You don't need anyone's permission to rewrite your story. But here's the final truth. Change isn't just about doing new things. It's about stopping what's killing you. Most people miss that part. They chase new habits, build goal lists, hype themselves up, but never stop to ask, what needs to go? Because before you shoot a new scene, you've got to edit the old one. So, do it. Tonight, write. Not just about who you want to become, but what you need to cut out, that relationship that drains you, that habit that's wrecking your health, that lie you tell yourself every day that keeps you small. Point them out, one by one, and do what a real director would do. Cut them. This isn't magic. It's not wishful thinking. It's not some Pinterest quote. It's about waking up tomorrow, looking in the mirror, and knowing that last night, even if it was just for a few hours, you finally had the courage to face yourself. No masks. If you actually do this, if you really sit down and face it, something will shift inside you, not overnight, not without pain, but something will change. Because the difference between a story no one remembers and a story that burns itself into memory isn't a perfect hero. It's a broken one who decides to change when everything seems lost. Now let me ask you something real. Are you going to keep being a background character in your own movie? Or are you finally going to sit down tonight and start writing the role? You were born to play? Here's something no one ever tells you loud enough. There is no turning back, no signs, no alarms, no perfect timing, just this moment, just tonight. Just you and the decision you keep postponing. And if you wait too long, if you keep running, keep numbing, keep lying to yourself, one day you're going to look back and realize something horrifying. There's no time left. That's the fear no one talks about, not failure, not judgment. The real fear is waking up too late, realizing the story is already too far gone, that the chance is past, that you've become exactly what you swore you'd never be. And the worst part? It won't come with violins or a dramatic breakdown. No crescendo, no slow motion scene. It'll be quiet. Small choices, tiny surrenders. Until the cage is fully built, and you're locked in. That's why you don't have time to wait. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, because every day you delay, the world is more than happy to steal your space. To define you, to write your part. If you don't decide who you are, someone else will, and here's the hardest truth. No one is coming to save you. There's no secret mentor, no magical intervention, no last-minute rescue. There's only one person who can crawl out of that hole. You. And that shouldn't terrify you. It should free you. Because if you're the problem, you're also the solution. Look around. The world is full of sleepwalkers. People trapped in routines, dying slowly in comfort, complaining but never changing. You can't be one of them. You don't get to be one of them. Not anymore. If you've made it this far, if you're still here, it's because some part of you knows the truth. You weren't made for mediocrity, and the only difference, the only real difference between those who change and those who stay stuck in the mud, is this. The ones who change, they move before they're ready. They act while still afraid. They leap before the map is clear. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for perfect timing. They don't wait for fear to vanish. Because they understand something most people never will. Fear doesn't go away before you start. It goes away after. Now close your eyes for a second and picture this. Tomorrow comes, and nothing changes. Same lies, same numb routines, same empty distractions. A month passes, a year, 10, and you're still there, right where you are now. How does that feel? If that thought makes your stomach turn, then you already know. You can't keep waiting. You can't afford to postpone your life. Tonight, grab the pen, open the notebook, and write what you've been avoiding, all of it. No filters, no mercy. Break down your excuses like a ruthless director cutting dead weight. delete every scene. That doesn't serve the plot. Because this story, it's yours to write. At the end of the day, the world splits into two kinds of people: those who write their story, and those who let someone else hold the pen. Which one will you be? And if this hit you, if even one line stayed with you, then I want you to prove it. Drop it in the comments. I'm rewriting my story. Because if you're still here, still listening, still breathing in these words, it means part of you has already chosen. Even if you haven't realized it yet, and if you want more, hit subscribe. But only if you're really ready, because this isn't soft content. We don't sugarcoat the truth here. We go raw. We go deep. We go real. And now, go. Write. No more excuses.